Hello everyone and welcome to LSI F1 EU Championship. We're today for the F1.5 EU Championship, the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 11 out of 13. And Dave Raptors confirmed for the championship. Devon Young and Dave Raptors not racing today. Dave Raptors might join us a little bit later on in the session. But it is going to be an opportunity for somebody else to finally win a race, of course, today. That would be good to see. Can we get Oggio's first win after getting all those podiums? Will Gilly return to the top step of the podium? He wins at least one race every season. He hasn't done it yet. He did win the final race in Abu Dhabi last season, so he might be able to get one in the latest stages of the season. That would be good to see. We've currently got Jack Cady, brand new driver on the grid. Was supposed to race last weekend, but they didn't in the end. And 15.9 is on the board for them. So they're currently in pole position by 2/10. And we've got Terence starting the lap as they were going pretty slow on entry. On the exit, might not be too bad, but Zingy, don't you want to keep momentum at the start of the final corner, or is that not too bad?
Well, honestly, if you're going to do that, you want to take the widest line possible, cut inside aggressively, and then put the power down. Otherwise, you want to just hold the momentum throughout the whole corner, and that enables you to get a good exit. But I mean, if it works for him as we come through the first sector split, will it be an improvement? Yes, it will be. So maybe it does work for Terence. People will try different things and it works for them. And if that's going to get him a better position, then I don't see why he shouldn't do it.
Going to need a little bit more time if he does want to get in front of Frantic, who hopefully doesn't retire on the first lap. Not anything to do with his fault. It was just an unfortunate moment for him. Can he win a race? He did very well in the past. It's just he didn't have the best luck, unfortunately. Maybe a second season would be good to show that, of course. He started halfway through a couple of seasons ago, did most of the season last time around when Pursoon won, and now he's back again. Will we see him at the top step of the podium? Unfortunately, I am in the session, of course, so we will miss the start of the race. We've got Terence coming across the line to set their lap. They will not improve position-wise, only a slight improvement on the time. It will help them stay in front of Monk, but the track evolution will kick in, and I'm sure lots of people will be improving. That's Oggio to P2. He's probably going to be going into the pit lane. He will go into the pit lane. We've got Jack Cady about to start their lap. Zingy, I don't know if you're prepared to do so. I can do it if you want to. Go through a lap with Jack Cady, who's currently on pole.
Yeah, I can try my best to, although it looks as though he's in the AI mode at the moment. Coming through the last corner, that braking looks very artificial, but I think he is back now for the start of his lap. Onto the straight DRS wide open as you cross the start finish line. You're going to be looking for your braking zone on the left here, just about the 75 metres into turn 1. You want to maybe ride that curve, but he's missed the apex a little bit. It's a spinny Ferrari which catches him off guard. And coming into turn 3, the long left-hander, you want to just hold the brake round here and then finally slam on the throttle through turn 4. This is flat, no worries at all. Keep the car as straight as possible. Coming up towards one of the trickiest corners, blind entry into turn 5. He's actually nailed that to perfection. 6, this is an infamous corner when me and Neville had a bit of contact, but he's managed to make it through without any mistakes. Now coming through the chicane, he's ran over the curb a little bit once and twice, and that's going to lose him a bit of a time. Through the fast weekends of corners now, left and right, as he flies through the middle sector. These cars have a lot of downforce, so he's able to absolutely send it for here. A little bit of a left off there, but that's understandable. He's only 2/10 of his time with all those mistakes, so perhaps there is more time on the board. The last sector is a bit scruffy as well for coming through there, and he's went a bit wide coming into the penultimate corner. Now, will he come into the pits? Yeah, he's coming in. That's unfortunate.
It was an effort. It was an effort. He's currently on pole, so he gave it a shot. But yeah, that will be that one done for now. Still got time to go again. In the meantime, Frantic up to P2. He will be on his way into the pit lane. We've got Flexard in P5. Is he on lap? He is on the lap. It says that they're improving. We'll get a true representation when we get through to sector 2. You go through the fast right-hander of 11. No lifting, it seems, from the engine revs. They are by 2.5 tenths improving. P5 at the moment, they would be going up in front of their teammate. They would be going up maybe for provisional pole. Am I calculating that right? No, yeah, no, I'm not. So they'll be looking at a 16.0 unless they improve a little bit more in the final sector. Across the line for Flexar. What's it going to be in the Alfa Romeo? It's going to be provisional pole. 5 tenths there. 15.6. Track evolution is absolutely magical around a high downforce circuit like this.
I think he may have made a mistake on the first lap because gaining 3 tenths out of nowhere is absolutely phenomenal. Almost the track evolution is just that mad, but I don't think at the moment it would be that exponential. So Flex are on pole for the moment, but Jack Cady and Frantic are going to be looking for it again. They're very close to each other, by the way, only a couple hundreds, and Ogil's there as well. Jack Lever, well, actually up to the top 7, there's 3 tenths between them, so it's getting very close at the front this weekend. That's for sure.
Lovely jubbly. Talking about the front runners, Dave Raptors is on his way. He hasn't set a lap yet, neither has JJ as they invalidate, unfortunately. But yeah, Dave Raptors joins late. He gets a little bit of time to go again. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But will he be able to make his way through the grid? You know, he is a driver to be able to do that pretty easily. We will see how it goes later on. But yeah, it's not going to be easy, especially around a circuit like this when overtaking isn't too possible. That being said, the walls are pretty close around here, so if there is a crash, it will be close to the circuit, and it will mean that there's an increased chance of a safety car, of course. Through the final few corners, Lalek will start their lap, and they're the only driver on the circuit. This is a perfect opportunity to go and set a blistering lap time. You can have full focus, no one else to disturb you. They will have someone else coming out the pit lane, but they're not going to see them in their view, and you can have maximum tunnel vision, which can help you in certain scenarios, but other scenarios maybe not, of course. You've got to be very careful with that. Down the hill we go. Don't lock up the inside tyre. They do that pretty well, keeping a fairly constant distance between the inside curb. That is the kind of apex that you're maybe looking for if you don't want to ride over the round grey curb, the concrete curb. If you do go over track limits, they lift a little bit and avoid it, so they will still be able to get this lap done. But no, that is over the massive sausage curb there, and they're probably going to have to back off on this one.
No, he's still pushing on. Maybe he is still finding a bit of time on this lap. Obviously, we cannot see the live delta rolling off the sector times, and the steering wheel doesn't say much regarding lap time. So coming for the middle sector, no, he has 3 tenths up, and that would only put him P7, but still, an extra position could be very good around the track like Hungary, where it's very difficult to overtake. I mean, there's not much straights to do it. The first DRS zone on the front straight is your only real chance. In the second straight, you don't really get much of a chance to pass there, and up to the line, I think it's made a bit of a hash of that last sector, and it's only P8.
Yep, unfortunately though, he didn't have that much time, so he kind of had to just make the most of it, give it a shot. Dave Raptor's not out yet. He's on his way out of the pit lane, so they're going to get one opportunity to go for their lap. Unless they mess their lap up early on in the first sector, they might be able to save and then go again. But other than that, that is going to be one opportunity to try and make it pole. Last time they got, was it P5, P6 on one shot for qualifying, so can they do that again? They've actually spun the car.
That's one way to tee up the tyres, but probably not the cleanest way to do so, as he's maybe with the cold tyres struggling a bit. I mean, he has just joined the session out of low there. I presume he might not have much practice for this race, but nonetheless, he's going to be setting a lap very soon. And if he does make a mistake, there might be a surprise here. Dave Raptor's not even getting in the top 10, so that'll be fun to watch him coming back through the field as well. Terence was on a lap there. Dave Raptor's thankfully just gets out of the way. He's a 10th up at the moment. Let's see if he does a better job of the chicane, and he does so. So Terence is looking good for the moment for maybe a top 5 start if he keeps this up. But time will tell, that's for sure.
Can he get another podium this season? That's what he's hunting for, of course, in the early hours of the morning in Hong Kong. That would be a great celebration, but he can't be too loud, of course, because he'll wake up the entire city if he celebrates too much. Round the final few corners, low traction in that final section of the circuit, and as long as he is very, very careful on the final corner, don't bin it away. And across the line, what's it going to be? It's going to be P4 for now, but there are people on laps and there are people improving. Talking about improvements, Monk goes to P3. We're going to sit on board with Jack Cady, who was on pole earlier on provisionally. He's now down to P3 as Flexstar did that mega lap. into the final sector now, and on the exit, he is purple in that middle sector, so he could be on to improve, but he messes up the entry. He manages to make dividends as he gets a decent exit, taking an alternative line, very wide on the final corner, but it still might be good enough across the line. What's it going to be? And it's not going to be enough for pole, but he just snaps P2 off of Monk.
Yeah, I mean, Monk's on a lap. There's no, he's back into the pits. Terence is done. Frantic, is he on a lap at the moment? It looks as though he might be a 10th up in the first sector, absolutely flying through that fast left-hander. And he's going to go, well, he's going to improve a lot here at the moment by the looks of things. Dave Raptors is also on a lap. Remember, he needs to set some sort of lap because it's very difficult to pass. And I'm not doubting Dave Raptors' ability. He's one of the best drivers we've seen in F1.5 in a good while. He's so consistent, so quick. But if he makes a mistake on this lap, it could be tears for him. Coming through the middle sector, he is purple, touching the grass a bit on the outside, losing the car as well, as touching the grass will make your car do that, of course. And coming through the last few corners, will we see Dave Raptors up into the top 5? That's roughly what he's aiming for. The last corner now, it looks a bit scruffy. Up to the line, it's not going to be pole. Is it even going to be top 10? No, it's 12. And where is that going to put Frantic in the team of things? It's only P6 at the end. So maybe track evolution was not as powerful as we first thought.
That's how it goes. Flexard on pole position for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Jack Cady, of course, set their lap already. So that is going to be it for them. Very good effort. A top 3 isn't bad, but that is an Alfa Romeo 1-2. How long ago would we have to go back to see that again? That was incredible. An Alfa Romeo 1-2. Flexard on pole position. Jack Lever in P2 and Jack Cady in P3. 2 Jacks on the front area of the grid. This is the rest of the grid. Race director, as we can quickly have a look, of course, into the instance and the pit stops. We'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, we're back for the start of the race. Sorry for the delay. We'll retire as soon as we can. Waiting for the opportunity. Retire from session. Can we get the start of the race? Lights out and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix heading to turn 1. Will Flexar be able to maintain that position into the first corner? He will manage to get it. Unfortunately, the camera angles were absolutely shocking, but we do get through. Jack Lever in P2. It's a bit side by side. Further behind, we've got Terence going around the outside. He's got the job done, but back to the inside is the Red Bull. That's going to create more contact. Frantic goes slightly into the back of the car. There's a front wing off for somebody. I don't know who it was. The Alfa Romeos, though, they are running away with that one. That is to the outside. Is that Frantic? 7th place at the moment, trying to go to the inside. Dave Raptor's already into 7th place, actually. That's absolutely incredible for him. I don't know who's got damage, though. There must have been an issue. That's someone off the circuit. It's Tom Brainer, it looks like, as he had to cut the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure whose damage that is, but Dave Raptor with an absolutely phenomenal start. He's all over the back of Oggio already coming into the last sector. If he can get a run, can he dive into the right-hander here? It doesn't look like it at the moment as the orders flex hard with Jack Lever and Jack Cady on the end of the first lap. And interestingly, the Williams and Monk going for a bit of an interesting strategy on the soft tyres, replicating Alex Albon, of course, in Australia, but I don't think those soft tyres are going to last too long considering how hot they do get in turbulent air.
Wondering if it was one of the Ferraris that are damaged, but I think it is just Tom Brainer. He must have missed his braking point because of the damage going into the first corner, and that's maybe what happened there. Jack Cady following the 2 Alfa Romeos, following in a train. Monk, of course. Terrence is a little bit further behind, but for now, he's still in the train, which would make it a little bit difficult for everybody else behind to actually make any progress. I don't know if Oggio's got a bit of damage. I think, did he go into the back of Terrence just a moment ago? It was only light, and they carried on as they were. That is 9/10 now, so Terrence has got a little bit more work to do if he wants to defend from the other cars behind, but it's not looking great at the moment. Yeah, this is perfect news for the top 4, though. They can relax a little bit. There will be a second train forming. That is just going to make it ever so easy, and as long as they don't fight each other, they can run away a bit here and try and kind of make Dave Raptors, the champion, work a bit harder, but he's looking pretty close to the back of the field and might get a double overtake as soon as DRS kicks in.
Oh my goodness! It looks as though Oggio... Well, they've made contact, Oggio and Terrence. Terrence going a bit slow on the exit. Oggio couldn't anticipate it, and that's going to allow Dave Raptors to fly up the inside of the last corner. Not touching the pit wall, actually. Oggio somehow holds it around the outside with the grip there, much better than the one on the inside. And coming down the front straight now, here we go. Oggio and Dave Raptors into one. Him and Niffle made contact in the last race here. It looks as though Oggio's taking a bit more caution there, and he gets the better exit off turn 1, but Dave Raptors manages to keep the position, and now he's up into P5, and he's going to go maybe to charge into the top 4, but Oggio's got a good exit here. Will he go for it into 5?
He will not use the energy. He backs off, lets it go. He needs to try and catch back up to the field after that very, very tight battle and a bit of an incident. He does need to do his best to close up to Monk, so maybe Dave Raptors can do that and help him out, of course. He is a very quick driver and he's already done a very good job of doing so. But yeah, well done to Dave Raptors, making 2 moves in an interesting fashion. Maybe not the best way to get it done, but what can you do if another driver has caused a bit of a collision? Hopefully that doesn't affect Oggio's momentum too much, because I know that may have been his fault. I didn't quite get to see the incident, but he still wants to try and make the most of it, even if you have ruined somebody else's race. Frantic is a little further behind. I don't know if they had to take avoiding action from the cars behind, because he dropped back, and then he seems to have dropped back more, and he's got the rest of the pack right behind him. Jack Lever going for the lead on his teammate. He's going to be careful that he doesn't open the door to the Mercedes, looking for the switchback and DRS available. Will he use the energy? He's not going to use it, so that was a bit of a wasted opportunity there, and that is brilliant defending from Flexside, because now he's going to use some resources of his teammate, and then he might have a chance to run away. That's if his teammate doesn't let the other cars go through.
I mean, as teammates here, the most logical thing is to back off in the last sector, use your teammates' DRS as a slingshot, and just maintain the P2 you've got for now until you want to make that overtake nearing the pit stop phase. It might be a bit boring, yes, and obviously we want to see battling, but Jack Lever and Flexhard can't afford to battle each other too much, otherwise they might be susceptible to the cars behind. And look who's behind them already. 2.7 seconds, whatever it wasn't an issue for Dave Raptors, that's for sure. He's already at the back of this train, and he's still got a lot of battery to play with.
done a phenomenal job so far. As always, you can never doubt the champion. He had a very tricky few seasons in the past, missing out on wins left, right and centre. This time around, he's definitely made the most of it. And yeah, he's already going to be going for the move on the Williams. It would be silly not to do so. To the inside line, he will send it. That is the most logical thing to do. And I think that's probably going to be quite a straightforward move. He has got such an advantage. He was a bit squirmy on the exit though, as we saw. Monk does back off though.
Yeah, I think Monk's tyres are absolutely shot at this point, 5 laps in. And I know that's not much, but the soft tyres around this track specifically are just melt. The high-speed corners in the middle and first sector are just going to destroy them. And it looks as though the strategy hasn't paid off at the moment. However, later on, we might see him come back with fresher tyres. But at the moment, Monk's just falling back, and Dave Raptors is making the most of it as he makes a bit of a mistake again. But he's got the pace. He just needs to reel it in a little bit in terms of these mistakes. And I'm sure he can make light work of these cars ahead of him.
So for Monk, if he goes for the hard tyre, it might not be a bad idea because you've got a high downforce circuit, you're all being clean air. If you're on your own, you might get that significant undercut. But that is only if the cars ahead fight a little bit. The DRS train isn't that powerful. He has to go for the pit lane sooner rather than later, within the next 2 laps I would say. Don't want to take my word for it though. If he's listening to the stream, you need to do what you need to do, of course. But yeah, the undercut could be possible. Oggio said it was super powerful yesterday after the race, so it might not be a bad idea to do so. It looks like there's a few people have selected this strategy, so it must be an option for everybody. That's Larlican. Is that JJ switching positions? I don't quite know what happened there. They're still side by side on exit. JJ is going to go back for the inside line, and he's going to try and secure it, but taking the outside line and the better momentum, more traction is Larlick. He has to back off before turn 3. Up the hill he goes. Is he going to go to the outside line? He is going to go to the outside line. We see the 2 cars go side by side, but Larlick is going to have to back off.
Yeah, JJ squeezed him out there. It was fair, but on the curb, there's no grip there, and Larlick just couldn't make the move. JJ, I don't know if it was retaining P10 or overtaking, but nonetheless, he's made the move. And although ASP10, he's fallen how far back? 11 seconds from the leader, so this strategy at the moment is looking very lackluster for the Ferraris, as Gilly is only P9 as well on the soft. I think the medium tyres is a no-brainer for the start of this race, considering how slow the other cars are looking.
Definitely seems the advantageous strategy at the moment, and considering the F1.5 championship with the bugs it's had, it wasn't like a far-off judgment to think that the safety car would be immediately deployed on the start line, but it didn't happen. So those people going for the medium tyres, they'll be faster now, but they'll be slower later on. Frantic could be the one to get the advantage later, but Dave Raptors, the champion, has also gone for the medium tyre on the start. That is going to be Jack Lever going off the circuit. Dave Raptors takes avoiding action. Monk, are they going to go through? They're not going to go through. They're too far back. I don't know what happened to Jack Lever there, if he went for the move or not.
I have no idea. I wasn't watching, unfortunately, but Jack Lever, which was looking so promising in Alfa Romeo 1-2, is now missing part of his front wing and P11, so it's just going from bad to worse for him at the moment. He tried to make the move earlier on, he couldn't make it work, and now he was in the wall without a front wing, so he's going to have to come back to the pitch, yeah, get a new wing on, get new tyres on, but it's not over yet. There could always be a safety car, but for him that's very unfortunate. You did not want that to happen to you that early on in the Grand Prix. But if we shift our attention forward towards the safety car, which has just been deployed.
Dave Raptors, is he going into the pit lane? He's the first one that could really think about it, because the other cars, they'd already passed the pit lane, so he's going to have a severe advantage from this one. That is perfect. He will lead the Grand Prix. There's no doubt about it. Unless somebody decides not to go into the pit lane, that would be Frantic, I believe, so he's going to be leading the Grand Prix actually, unless Flexard and Jack Cady stay out. But Frantic on that hard tyre, it is a no-brainer. That being said, Zingy, would you go for a double medium strategy from this way onwards?
I'd say so. Double medium or soft medium, which Dave Raptors is doing. He wants to go more aggressive. That's understandable. He wants to get that gap out. We know Dave, even on a bit of older tyres, he's able to manage that gap. Once he's out of DRS, you don't really see him for the rest of the race. So I think with this, he's able to cut his way through these top three who are on older, hard and medium tyres. He'll fly off into the distance, and then when his tyres do start to die off, he'll still retain that advantage due to just raw speed in general. So I think Dave Raptors is definitely in the shout of, well, we always say he's in the shout of winning this race, but this has just helped him tremendously.
That is a good job from him. We had a bit of a race on pit exit with Jack Lever and Tom Brainer. Jack Lever just comes out ahead, so very, very well done to him. Tom hasn't pitted. They're on that hard tyre. They're going to try and make it work, which isn't a bad idea. Hungary, it's very difficult to get used to with old tyres, I should say. So it is possible to have incidents later on in stints, which would mean that we could be looking at a safety car around about lap, I don't know, 20. If somebody does get caught out by that, which would be a medium tyre slapped on likely, and then a race to the end of the Grand Prix. Let's hope that doesn't happen though. We want some good racing till the end. That is the ultimate goal for everybody, of course. Flexard leads the way as they decided not to pit on the last few laps, and neither did Jack Cady. So interesting calls. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit surprised about that one, but they didn't want to give up the race lead. Dave Raptors still has to pit, so these guys are all going to be on a similar strategy. Dave Raptors will be going to the medium tyre later on, I assume, whereas Flexard and Jack Cady will definitely be going to the hards. That is just going to be their thinking, at least for now, unless the strategy changes for the safety car. Conditions, that is Monk who is on the freshest hard tyre. This could be a good thing for them, but what we saw from Frantic earlier on that hard tyre, early on, they really did lose out a lot of time to everybody else on the softer compound. So it's not easy around a downforce dependent circuit like this and a grip dependent circuit like this.
You reckon Dave Raptors is taking from his idol Lewis Hamilton from 2019, putting onto the softer compound tyre, and then just overtaking everyone to win the race? I think we may see something similar, no?
It's possible, but he obviously has to make that pit stop, and then he will probably have to overtake Monk and Oggio as long as they don't have an incident. So he's going to still have to do some overtaking. He'd have a significant advantage, but looking at yesterday's race with Igor having a significant advantage over Tom Brainer, it's still possible to defend from the car behind, even if you have that disadvantage. So you do need a lot of pace. I'm not going to say that Dave Raptors doesn't know. We will be going for the race restart here at Hungary. That's going to be Flexard leading the way. This is his best chance this season for a race win. We know he has had the potential. He just hasn't quite had everything go his way in a Grand Prix. So far, it is going his way. Strategy maybe not so much, but it isn't a bad opportunity. You still got to take it. Everybody bunching up, everybody close together. That is going to be Jack Cady looking like he wants to give himself a penalty if he's not too careful. Around the final corner, will he stamp on it? He will stamp on it. Flexar go for the restart. Jack Cady close behind, and I think he's going to try and look to go for the move immediately. He will get it done. We're going to go on board with Frantic, as you can see on the inside line. The Mercedes go through. Dave Raptors is going to go through. Can he get a better exit? No. Makes contact with Flexard. That's going to allow the Mercedes to have an easy move into the first corner for the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Jack Cady off the start made advantage of it, and Dave Raptors locking the rears coming into turn 3 there, maybe just not getting his soft tyres fired up too much. Side by side coming into turn 5, Jack Cady is going, oh my goodness, Dave Raptors is going for the move up the inside of turn 5. Is he going to make it stick around the outside? Surely, with the grip advantage. Oh no, there's contact. Once, not once, but twice. Dave Raptors off P2 at the moment, and Jack Cady regains the lead of the Grand Prix. There's more kerfuffling back there. There's a car off, and I think that's Monk. And his, oh my goodness, and there's another safety car. I could hardly keep up with that.
More damage, unfortunately. I think Monk was getting the most disadvantaged situation. That will give an opportunity for the likes of Jack Cady and Frantic to pit stop. Not Frantic, Flexard and Ballint. That will also give Dave Raptors an opportunity to go onto the medium tyre, whether he wants to. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, half a lap of racing, and Jack Cady now leads the way. Flexard down to P4 after a bit of a side-by-side moment. Not easy as you go up the hill and into the next corner of turn 5 with the swooping right-hander. That is going to be Jack Cady taking this as an opportunity to pit stop, and I think it's still going to have to be the hard tyre for him.
Yeah, I mean, people coming into the pits again. Jack Cady, of course, putting onto another set of mediums, so he's going to do the Raptor strategy, but the opposite, sticking on the medium tires, the slower tires compared to the soft for now, taking the pain, and then afterwards he'll be able to be one of, if not the fastest car at the end, hunting down Dave Raptors. With Dave, he's going to be on the soft tires and then the mediums. So this creates an interesting dynamic, and you got two people between Dave Raptors and an actually fresh tyre runner, and then you've got a host of people, and then you get Tom Brayner, who's on that same tyre he was on lap 2. Why would he stay on the same tyre, do you think, Aaron?
Not really sure, but I guess he just wants to try and make positions under the safety car conditions whilst everybody pit stops. And to be honest, you've got a long way to go on that hard tyre. He's saving tyres for later on, assuming that there might be another safety car. We're in the middle of the race. Everybody's not lost focus, but obviously a little bit of fatigue will start to kick in, and maybe some people will make some more mistakes. So the safety cars in the middle of the race at least do increase the chances of a safety car, I should say. We might get a late call in here. I don't think we will, but it's never impossible in the F1 game. It would be mid-apex, I'm sure, if we do get a call in, but I don't think it's going to happen. We will go racing on the next lap, not this lap. For now, Dave Raptors, of course, looking to lead the way, unless he decides to go into the pit lane. He doesn't. He wanted to think about it, but then decided not to. Was that the right call or not? I'm not sure, but yeah, 3 laps. 4 laps, it's going to be 5-lap-old tyres when we go for the restart. That is going to be tough to take, very tough.
Yeah, Dave maybe just try to fake them 2 into the pit lane, which I don't know why he'd do that. These guys behind are going to actually help him propel himself towards that 20-second gap he needs to get that extra pit stop out of the way. But I mean, if that's what he wants to do, then I guess that's what they want to do, you know. But I'm not sure. His tyres are 4 laps old, and yeah, he's been trundling around the safety car. But do you reckon that even with the safety car, the tyres are starting to drop off a little bit?
Yes, definitely. You lose that peak performance, even if you're going slowly. The tyre wear does happen. The good thing for him is that he has a hard tyre runner behind him. Not the freshest hard tyres either, and he is also leading the race. He's got a restart which he can gain some immediate time on as long as he gets the job done correctly, and he's got clean air in front of him. He's a quick guy. He's a very quick guy. He's had time to get into the race after not having much time at all to qualify, so he's got a lot to go for him. He has got a lot to go for him, so it's absolutely fine. It's just a very, very difficult and aggressive strategy to play with. We will get the confirmation of the restart as we cross the sector line in Sector 3. Dave Raptors will lead the way yet again this season. Can he make the most of it? After very, very bad qualifying, he finds himself in a golden opportunity. Safety car round the final corner before it enters the pit lane. He's going to be backing up the pack, ready to go. And there you go, safety car heads to the pit lane now, final corner. Frantic is the one to react. This is a very good chance for him to get into the lead of the Grand Prix on the hard tyres in a few laps time, of course. As long as he can hold on from Flexard, that is the restart already gone, and a pretty good reaction time considering he's on that hard tyre from Frantic. Flexard, would he have a go though already?
Well, it doesn't look like Flexar does, but it looks as though Ogio into turn 1 is going to go for that move up the inside, keeping it close to the curb and making a fantastic move. He's up into P4, looking further back. Is there anyone switching positions? It doesn't look like it up until you get to Terrence and Jack Cady coming into turn 3. He's going to brake late around the outside, but he's broke too late, and that's going to allow Terrence to... Oh, a bit of contact made there, and that's going to allow Jack Lever to slip past. As we see further up, anything else happening? Not at the moment, but Dave Raptors leads 1.2 seconds already.
Perfect job from him. We've got Ogio, who's right behind the Alfa Romeo. They have significantly better tyres compared to Flexar, compared to Frantic, and they will have better tyres compared to Dave Raptor's within the next few laps. So currently, Oggio is probably the net race leader, and another virtual safety car is deployed as Jack Lever has another issue going back to the back of the pack, and we will still stay on the virtual safety car. So that is good. That is a perfect opportunity now for Dave Raptors. He has to pit. Full safety car. Why did that happen? I'm not entirely sure. That is very weird.
Because Tom Brainer and Jack Lever out of the chicane and made contact, both hit the wall together and both have lost the front wing. I think there might have been a bit of front wing across the track, but I don't know why it would be a safety car if both cars are still running, so that's always fun.
Interestingly, Dave Raptors decides to not go into the pit lane. Jack Lever having more issues now, speeding under the safety car as they didn't respect the delta, unfortunately. I'm very surprised that Dave Raptors hasn't gone into the pit lane. He wants to continue to lead and go for a set of mediums later, I'd assume, and that's the only reason why I can think he's going to try and continue on this tyre. Maybe wait for lap 20 to go for it.
Well, perhaps, I'm not too sure, but I don't know why. Yeah, I just find it weird how Frantic's not came in at the moment. He's 13 laps on the hard tyre, and it's going to be very difficult for him to retain any sort of pace. Oggio, we've seen 7-lap fresher tyres, and he was flying past absolutely everyone. So at this rate, Oggio could have a chance to maybe get a podium, and if not, win this race, because all these safety cars and all the laps under them, Dave Raptor, will be losing performance on the softs. Frantic, of course, needs to pit. Oggio might be able to stretch it if he just looks after the tyres. Balance definitely going to have to stop again. So will Terrence. JJ, Larlock and Tom, all new fresh mediums. They'll be able to make it, but do you reckon that this is maybe Oggio's chance to perhaps get his first win?
It is, it definitely is, but I reckon that Flexard maybe might have a better opportunity. They're close. They won't have slow people in front of him, strategy-wise, because Terrence isn't going to be slow on that medium tyre. It's not the best tyre in the world, but it's not too old either. Monk, he is going to be right there, only 6 laps on those hards, but still later on into the Grand Prix, Flexard would have that significant advantage. I don't know, Oggio is going to be in a good chance. Yet again, that's for like the second or third time that Dave Raptors has faked going into the pit lane. He's just not making any sense. Still trying to stay out. I would definitely be pitting, at least to be closer to the pack and make it easier for later on to catch up. He's already pitted. He could go to the hard tyre to the end, like some of the other drivers, because currently in this situation that is the superior strategy to go for. But of course, if there is another safety car later on, he does give up that track position. He's going to try and get to lap 20 on this tyre, I'd assume, and then go for a medium tyre. I say lap 20, more or less lap 20 is what I mean, and then he will be able to go to the end.
Yeah, but the safety car is going to come in the end of this lap, which means he's only got 4 to push and pull away from everyone. And with those decaying soft tyres, will we actually gain much time? Yeah, you'll probably gain over Frantic. But Oggio on the same lap old tyres has definitely got less percentage on them.
I think if he's got a car in between himself and the cars on a net race leading strategy, that's absolutely fine. He is just trying to stay in front, not actually break away on this tyre, because then he can prevent everybody from escaping, and then by the time he does pit, high downforce circuit on fresh tyres, it's going to allow him to catch up significantly. So there is logic behind this. It's just making it a lot more difficult, and he will have to be very aggressive later on into the Grand Prix. And aggression, of course, increases the chance of an incident occurring. So he's putting himself in risk by doing it, although it isn't exactly impossible to execute, of course. Dave Raptors is going to be going for the restart yet again. Frantic will be the one to react to the McLaren driver, the safety car, into the penultimate corner now. So we will be going for the restart at some point soon. As Jack Cady going into the back of JJ, unfortunately he will get a penalty. He's going to maybe serve that later on, unfortunately for him, but
he's lost a wing as well.
Focusing on the top 2, despite that, Dave Raptors already goes for it and reacts perfectly to catch out Frantic. That's an awesome restart, and Oggio is going to spot this as an opportunity to go for the move already.
Yeah, into turn one, frantic, keeping to the outside. Oggio is going to go diving down into turn one like he did on the Alfa Romeo Jack Lever just a few laps ago in the first safety car restart. He gets phenomenal traction, and that's a great move from Oggio. He's up into P2, and now he's just got to set his sight on Dave Raptors. He doesn't even need to overtake him, he just needs to keep good pace for the moment. Looking further back, it looks as though there might be some switcheroos for Tom Brunner and Larlick, which Tom Brunner goes right around the outside of Larlick coming into turn 3. It's a great move. Tom trying to recover as much as he can, considering how bad it's been so far for him in this race, and he's up into the points once again.
Very good job from him. Talking about the other Haas driver, that is Ballant, very, very close to the back of Frantic. He's on that medium tyre. He should have an opportunity to catch up. Would he want to send it on the brakes? I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that's going to be so straightforward, of course. He's got Gilly behind him on a pretty decent hard tyre as well, who is absolutely flying very, very close to the back of that car. JJ's not too far away. We could see a couple of overtakes happen throughout the grid, but for now they are going to stay as they are. DRS isn't available. There's a little bit of contact there from Ballant, so Frantic is pretty slow on that hard tyre, just misjudging the speed that the AlphaTauri is carrying through the corner. DRS not available, but the straight is, and ERS is being deployed. So Ballant's going to tuck in the slipstream, pull out to the side, and he is going to give the move a shot. Will anybody else try and challenge? They will not, but it might be Flexard to the inside as he decides to go for it late, putting the Aston Martin in a weird position. Another incident in the background. Hopefully that's not a safety car, but Tom Brainer is going to struggle with that one.
Yeah, the terrorist is up the inside of Flexard at the moment. It doesn't go for the move, he backs over it, thankfully, because that could have been an incident if they kept it going into turn 5. Frantic, I mean, you've seen him holding up the entire grid. He's not slow, it's just the tyres are dying off 16 laps on the hards, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 7 or 8 people behind him at the moment, as we see Ballant actually not pulling away as much as I would have thought already in this first sector, perhaps in mediums. Those 9-lap-old mediums dying off as well. But Oggio's actually not doing too bad. Oh, Dave Randall's around and he's out the race! He's out the race!
I do not believe that. The championship leader spins out on the hard tyres. He's doing a good job. I was just going to say, he's doing a phenomenal job on that tyre, considering their age, and breaking away from Oggio. He pushed a little bit too hard, and in typical Hungarian Grand Prix style, they overheat. He's into the wall. That's going to give Oggio the lead, but he's still going to go into the pit lane. The question is, will Flexard go into the pit lane as well?
No, he's on fresh hard. Of course he's not going to come into the pit lane.
Not into the pit
and
lane.
quite a few people are actually joining him. Terrence, it looks so, JJ and Larlick also. Jack Lever too, but he's got a driver penalty, so he's going to have to serve that eventually too.
Ooh, that's not good. Jack Lever might get disqualified.
No, it's on the safety car, it's fine. He'll have to do it as soon as the safety car comes in, on that lap.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
In the past, we have seen people be disqualified because the safety cars come out and they weren't able to serve the drive-through under the conditions. Yes, in theory it should happen. It just depends if the coders of the game were capable to think of that. I'm not entirely sure if they fixed it in this game or if it's still an issue. We will find out within the next lap, I assume. Hopefully, for Jack Lever's sake, he's still in this race because he had a phenomenal qualifying and he's finding a way up the order, and he could possibly get a decent result in the position that he's in with the strategy. Tyre-wise, everybody can probably go to the end of the race on a medium, but they are going to be absolutely dead. And dead tyres does make for some phenomenal racing at the end of the Grand Prix, as it goes very, very dramatic at the end. But we'll see. I don't know. Zingy, would we be able to go to the end on this medium tyre realistically, or is it time for the soft tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix?
I think you can most definitely go mediums to the end, because by the time the safety car comes in, it's lap 20, and that's around about 16-15 laps to go of the race, and that's not actually that bad for a medium tyre to go to. You can even do 17 laps in the mediums before they start to really go off, so I think some people who are better at tyre conservation you'll see thrive, especially someone like Gilly, and other people who might be a bit more aggressive in their driving style might struggle. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but It's going to be very intense towards the end, I'll tell you that for a fact.
Jack Cady's got a little work to do. P12 on the hard tyre. He will be faster towards the end of the Grand Prix, though. Of course, he didn't have a bad qualifying either, so he has got pace on his side to help out. Tom Brainer gets another opportunity. I was going to say a second chance, but no, it's probably a third or fourth chance. Having problems pretty much at the start of every restart we've had. Hopefully this time it's going to be clean for him. Last time around, the restart wasn't too bad, only 1 or 2 incidents, of course before the safety car, but everybody spread out, which meant that we could kind of relax a little bit, just for a moment. Will that happen again? I'm not entirely sure. It depends on how Flexard restarts the grid, because, you know, if he doesn't get a good reaction, everybody's bunched up and it causes a higher chance of overtakes and therefore crashes, of course. We're just going to get a quick screenshot of the cars going through on the camera, of course, but I don't think it's going to be too great. I just want to get maybe an image for a thumbnail, because that's always good if we can get that. But yeah, we'll see how that goes, if we can get the highlights out in time or if I'm too unreliable. Anyway, got a bit distracted there. Safety car going to be in this lap, and we'll be going racing once again on lap 20 out of 35. This would have been the lap that Dave Raptors would have probably looked at pitting on that soft tyre. He didn't get to that one in the end, and now it promotes Flexard back to the lead, and he has a chance of winning this Grand Prix. Terence is the one to react on a medium tyre. It's not going to be easy. He will be slower later on, but he still has a chance at least to try and get into the lead, as long as he does spot that reaction time. Flexard into the final corner, not going yet. We'll hear the engine revs pick up, and he will go for that restart. The Ferrari way too close, distracting Terence a little bit, and that is a massive, massive getaway there from the race leader.
Yeah, Flexard already. Oh no! That's Jack Lever disqualified, you were right. It's happened into turn 1, he's not even going to make it, he's been disqualified due to that bug, and it looks as though Augie is already going to go for the move on Larlick, his teammate. Will he put up much of a fight? I wouldn't expect him to, considering they are teammates. Larlick and Augie will be getting contact, none of them spin around thankfully. Augie has got so much more grip, man, look at him. He's absolutely flying up into P4 already. He's got Terrence and JJ on a couple of lap older mediums, and then he's got to chase down Flexard. And for his sake, he needs to do this quickly in order to win the Grand Prix.
Absolutely perfect job there, but he still has a few cars to get through, of course, and JJ isn't going to be slow on those tyres yet. He'll drop off later on, but it might be a chance for Flexard to break away. That being said, Flexard hasn't retained that gap. He's actually lost out since the restart, which is a heck of a shame, because he did a phenomenal job right there.
Terrence actually putting a bit of pressure on the Flexard going into that corner. 12 lap old medium, you expect him to be dead by this point, but Terrence is somehow making them work at the moment. It looks still coming to the last corner. There's not going to be any changes of the Grand Prix. Flexard still manages to retain the lead. Terrence has lost a bit of time, and that might put him under pressure from Augie and JJ into one. Here we go. Augie, will he manage to find the grip? And will he be late enough on the brakes? He's not going to. Coming out of turn 1 though, he might have the grip advantage on JJ, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. It's Frantic has just got past Larlick, and so is Balin for P6. So Larlick's really falling off. He's actually disconnected from the session, so that explains his demise so far.
It's such a shame there for Larlick. Balin gets through though, with the car being in control. Larlick hopefully can catch up in a little bit, but that's probably going to put him to the back of the pack, which is a hell of a shame. But it's the way it goes. It's kind of like a reliability issue in the world of virtual racing. So it's such a shame. You can't escape it on certain occasions. That is one of the many times that's happened in recent times for the Red Bull driver. So hopefully you can have some sort of issue fixed, but that's how it goes. And F1.23 is maybe not his game regarding reliability. I was going to say top 3. No, Terence, JJ and Augie very close together. Now all of a sudden Flexard has been able to break away a little bit. So maybe, I don't know if that's just energy deployment from Terence early on. But now it's going to drop off. We've got the Ferrari who's very close. And despite not having DRS, still looking to go for it. But it has to go not defensive, but has to really think about that car on the inside line, and we're not going to see them on the camera. Oggio gets through. He might have a go to the inside. He is going to have a look. But no, Terence is way too far in front for that one. Actually rides the inside curb, so really putting the pressure on his Oggio, forcing him to a mistake or two.
Yeah, Terence is absolutely shot those tyres, and it looks as though he just doesn't have any grip left. He's still managing to keep DRS, which is a phenomenal thing. 14 laps now those tyres have been on, and I'm going to keep on saying this the longer he stays in DRS, because he shouldn't. Like, I'm not saying, oh no, never mind. Forget what I was about to say there. He's made a bit of a mistake, and maybe that is a sign of his tyres being completely done. Oggio can't find a way through the moment, and JJ isn't looking like he's going to make a move at this time, but he's going to have a lot of pressure from Frantic behind. But he won't be able to make the move, as JJ will have that DRS unless he makes a mistake just like he did there. Oggio putting him under so much pressure. You can see that he's just not able to get out of the corners at all without any pace. Coming onto the straight now, it's going to be so easy for Oggio. Onto the straight now, Terence isn't going to put too much of a fight into one. Well, we're not even getting to one before Oggio does make that move, and JJ also might make it too. Terence defends well to the inside, but he's just not got any grip, and JJ's going to muscle his way through and up into third.
Fair play, he's got it done. Frantic's going to follow through, and Terence is going to back that one up by backing off. He doesn't want to ruin the flow of the race. It's better for his race if he just lets it go and goes for the soft tyres within the next few laps. He just wants to reduce any time loss and then maybe look at the undercut later, but it's going to be a tough way to come back. And Flexard, although not too far in front, he still has a great advantage in this Grand Prix. Oggio can go to the end of this race, but he's going to be so much slower. If Flexard plays this right and just tries to sit in P2, he will have a good opportunity. And the fact that JJ is on slightly older tyres than Frantic, but still in the way, he is going to have an even more advantageous strategy. So this is perfect from him. He just needs DRS and to stay with Oggio. Of course, he can defend in the initial stages just to prevent the Red Bull from breaking away on the fresher rubber. But you know, he's as long as he thinks about this properly, he will be good to go. So he goes defensive for now. He might want to defend for a lap or two, but other than that, he's going to have to give it up. But no, doing a fakie to the inside, Oggio goes. That's perfect from him. Will Flexard get the exit? No, squirmy over the curb. That is the Red Bull through. I wasn't expecting him to get through that quickly. We go on board with Ballot now, who has the outside line on Terence, trying to pinch him to the inside on entry. That is going to compromise his exit, and he's now going to have the inside line, gifted it. Monk on the back foot right now, but he had a moment to look to the outside. He doesn't go for it in the end, just not able to follow the Haas through for now, which is such a shame, but he might have a second opportunity into the chicane. Big balls, not big enough, unfortunately, for now. The tyres aren't that good to get that job done.
I just want to say that compared to Flexhard, Frantic doesn't have much battery. Yeah, he might be quicker at the moment. You can see how much the car just reacts as he points the car into the corner compared to the Alfa Romeo, which is a bit sluggish looking, of course, on that hard tyre. But can Frantic get through with DRS and minimal ERS? That's the thing. If Flexhard just gets a good exit out of the last few corners, he's done that for the penultimate one, and out the last corner, if he just plants the throttle down nicely, like he's done there, will Frantic actually be able to get through?
I don't know, JJ's looking aggressive. He might want to have a go if he can blast his ERS, but no, he's too far back. Frantic has an opportunity to do very well here. If he can stay with Flexhard, he'll be faster later on in the Grand Prix. They could work together to catch up to Oggio. Oggio, though, 1.2 seconds. He just needs to learn from the race in Abu Dhabi. Push, but not push too hard and get himself a time penalty and then make more mistakes. He's got the advantage. He doesn't need to sweat. He just needs to stay away from the track limits and he'll be good to go. Not an easy circuit for track limits though, that being said. So he does have still a long way to go in this race to avoid those penalties, but he has an amazing opportunity here. He can't bottle it now. It's a good track for defending, so he is advantageous on the strategy. That is is going to be JJ into the wall. Somehow, he doesn't retire. I don't think he actually made contact with the wall. That is an incredible save right there, but that is going to be the Haas looking for the inside line. There's no way that he's going to maintain that position, surely. He's going to lose out a lot because of those tyres. Trying to sweep it around the outside. He's not going to secure that though for the moment, but he will eventually get through. Monk might have a go here if he can secure a good exit on the shaky car of the Ferrari driver, but no, JJ is going to try and come back through.
So I'm watching a completely different battle at the moment. Flex hard and Frantic. Frantic's he's went into the pit wall actually. It's JJ, Monk and Ballard are free wide at the moment actually. JJ just about defending that position. Monk making a bit of contact with the Haas, but it's is he going to get the move done down the inside? It's going to be the outside for the next corner, but he's got so much more grip it looks like, and Ballant up into P6. But yeah, as I was saying, Frantic got put into the pit wall, hopefully no damage for him. Flex hard, well he stuck to his line, but Frantic just decided to flank up the inside like he was Barrichello, and well, unfortunately for him, he might have a bit of damage, but we'll just see that gap and we'll monitor it for now as we see Jack Cady making the move on Monk for P7. So, a bit of a quiet debut, good qualifying, he dropped down a bit at the start, but now he's making his way back up on those fresher hard tyres. Do you reckon he's got a chance of getting maybe a top 5?
Well, the late charge would say it's not going to be impossible to do so, of course. So that is brilliant for him. Larlick gets a time penalty. That's the first time penalty for track limits we've seen so far. Monk lost that position as he went off the circuit at the chicane. Many drivers doing that. You are able to abort that corner, so that is all good to go. Gilly looking for the move on Flexard onto the inside line. Is he going to send it on the inside though on the brakes? He will not. He sticks his nose in, prevents the Alfa Romeo from breaking away, but still the Alfa Romeo has the inside line. He could brake late and push him off the circuit. He doesn't get the job done. Following him all the way to the track limits is Gilly. He makes the move. Very, very good job indeed. That is it secured. He's on line lap old tyres. The top three are all on the same tyre. Flexard goes off the circuit. With that time penalty now on board, he's not going to have an easy chance to come back later on in this race. I think he's just dropped off a little bit too much, and that is going to be a brilliant opportunity for Oggio to now relax. He had a 2.4 second advantage whilst he could break away. All the time penalties are kicking in now, just coming towards the closing stages of the Grand Prix. It's very, very hard to focus after all these restarts as well. Of course, it's just going to make it even easier. Now, Gilly isn't far away from Frantic, so that if these guys fight too hard, it's only going to help Oggio, who's now 3 seconds in front.
What did I say at the start of the race here? And the medium tyres are just amazing compared to the soft and hard. And that looks so it's the case at the moment. The Flex hard staying in DRS, but it's not going to help as Gilly is going to send it to the inside into turn 1. He's been looking electric on those new medium tyres. He's not going to be challenged by Frantic, who's not got enough battery or tyres, it looks like, maybe overheating a little bit. And Gilly's up into second. He's got 2.8 to catch in 8 laps. Will he be able to do it? It's only a couple of tenths per lap, but then he needs to overtake him as well, so it's going to be tough for the Ferrari driver. You say he's won quite a lot of races as Tom Bruyne retires in the pit lane, but he's got 2.8 to catch. Oggio just needs to manage the gap. He's not won a race in LSI before, so he might be a bit tentative, a bit shaky, which is understandable, but if he can just keep calm and composed, he'll be a new winner.
At the moment, the gap is pretty big, so I'm going to say Oggio's going to have a very good chance at winning this Grand Prix. That being said, all Gilly needs to do is stay within a 3-second time penalty, and then he will keep that pressure on Oggio. Oggio would get a penalty if he makes a mistake, and then he'll win the Grand Prix. Gilly now, he's going to gain a bit more time as Oggio is a little bit shaky. He's still in a great opportunity to win this Grand Prix because he has such an advantage. Gilly, though, he's had to overtake some people, so might have worn out his tyres, but he's looking rapid. It's not going to be easy, but it is close. Gilly has had a chance to win a Grand Prix on time penalties in Silverstone against Bassoon. He didn't get it done. Can he redeem it? I don't know. All of a sudden, Oggio has picked up the pace, and that is a phenomenal job for him. He can still win this Grand Prix as long as he keeps it clean.
Yeah, Oggio needs to push like he's Ayrton Senna's Monk's actually retired from the race. There won't be any more safety cars. I was going to say that earlier on as there's been the limit of 4. But Yeah, Ogio just needs to push like he's an animal for the rest of this race. Take all the risk. You might as well, as you've already got a podium in LSI. You want to go for that win. You got to just push you got to push your heart out. And for his sake, I hope he does get it, because Gilly, multiple race winner, he's very experienced in this field. People getting penalties and him just picking off the pieces in the end. But how good would it be to see a new driver winning?
For sure it would be good. 3.3 seconds. So, right, he could just try and manage the gap here. He could definitely do that. And that's what he probably wants to do after Abu Dhabi, where he learnt that very valuable lesson to not push too much. Gilly is trying his best, though, to maintain that pressure, because if you can get within that 3-second time penalty range, then it forces Ogio to push a little bit harder, risk a bit more himself. ERS-wise, he's got nothing left. Gilly has a little bit more, and even though it's not too much, it would still be an advantage. We're not going to get even a virtual safety car as Terence unfortunately retires. So as I said, later stages of the Grand Prix, it's so easy to lose concentration. Ballant goes for the move on JJ. JJ coming back to the inside line, and he's going to maintain or gain that position again. Jack Cady, interestingly, in the pit lane, going for a pit stop as he goes on to use set of medium tyres.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about, but JJ fighting for these last few points. Can I just say that we started with 14 and then there's only 8 cars running left. So it's been a race of attrition, that's for sure. 3.8 the gap is now to Gilly as it goes in a bit. Maybe Ogio making a mistake in the chicane. But I noticed in the first corner, Gilly goes a bit wide, gets a bit of marbles on his tyres. It might just be a visual, but I think he does go a bit wide, and that causes him to lose a 10th or 2. So Gilly, you need to stop making those mistakes, otherwise you're going to let Ogio win the race, because those marbles, especially at the end of the race, I mean you know it, and they're killer in this game. They're horrible to deal with, and even if you get a little bit on your tyres, that could spell disaster.
Of course, marbles definitely increase later on into a Grand Prix, so it's only going to make it worse the longer you go into the race. We have Flexard, who is starting to catch back up. They're finding their pace again. They could go for the move on Frantic. They'd have a very, very hard job at getting past Gilly, but they've still got those time penalties, so it's not going to be so easy. Gilly, I thought they maybe would have a chance to catch back up to Ogio, because Ogio had no ERS and Gilly had a little bit to use, but no. Ogio has still done a very good job. I say if I was in his position, 9/10, that's enough to maintain the gap. As long as he maintains it, he doesn't need to break away anymore. Just focus on getting the car home. Even if it's 3.1 seconds, it makes it exciting. But if it's going to allow you to keep the car on the circuit in a straight line, use that 9/10 buffer. It's not much, but it is enough to definitely push, and he seems to have the pace advantage. So yeah, no, like 4 seconds, just leave it at that, maintain that gap, don't push any more to try and extend it further, unless you're at risk of getting another penalty, of course, then maybe try and push. But Gilly might get a penalty yet. He's got a couple cars behind him, so he could lose out.
I'm just going to debunk your point now. I just checked the race director a few minutes ago, and he's got no warnings at the moment. At the start of this lap he had none, but unless he gets 2 or 3, then he might be mudded. As Frantic is not even that much under pressure from fighting start. You said he had pace, but it seems to have disappeared out again a bit. Maybe he has tyre pressure for clean air, and when he's in dirty air, it might hamper his tyres to a point that they do overheat. So maybe that's why he was struggling when he was behind others.
Might not be impossible, but I think he is only going to get quicker from this point onwards. I know it's going to be late on, but he might get a chance at getting in front of Frantic at the final stages. That being said, it's pretty much pointless. You've got that time penalty. It's just going to be a move just for ego purposes, and if Frantic can try and gain a little bit later, he is going to be in a good position to get through. But I don't know, Ogio is the one to watch at the moment. 4.3 seconds. Earlier we saw the race leader crash out of the Grand Prix. Ogio's not going to do that again, because he did that back in Abu Dhabi. He's not going to do it again because he's learnt his lesson. I'm saying that. He has learnt his lesson. And he's got a 4.2 second gap. He continues to push. He doesn't need to. He's just got to maintain it. He drops back to 4.1. So this could be his opportunity to now relax and just take this victory. His first ever victory. He's in the Red Bull That would be Red Bull dominance, even in the virtual world of LSI. That would be something to see, of course. We haven't seen a Red Bull win a Grand Prix for a while. Can he get the job done? Time will tell. Only a few laps to go of this Grand Prix. It's been an endurance race, that's for sure. High downforce and lots of turns. This circuit definitely puts the pain in your arms. Jack Cady retires in the pit lane, having a very, very troublesome race, but that is at least experience in the bag, ready for the next round in Belgium, of course. So, you know, he still can look on the up for the rest of the season and prepare himself for next season in LSI. That's not a bad way to look at it, even if he has had to retire the car. He will score points from 8th position because he has managed to complete enough of the race. So he does get those points on the board at least. That is a 3.9 second gap now. Oggio has decided to start backing off. That being said, maybe Gilly is starting to push. He's got a fair bit of ERS in that car, so he can push here. That being said though, Gilly did lose out a couple races ago where he thought it was, oh, that JJ actually maybe. He thought it was the final lap, but it wasn't. So he can push, but he has to make sure that he checks the map and pushes early enough.
Yeah, he's still got 38%. I'd be dumping it all right now, personally. If there's someone got a penalty ahead, I am pushing. I know that penalties can be removed, but by looking at it, I think it's legit, of course. Let's not delve into that rubbish, because it ruins races. But Gilly, if I'm Gilly right now and I know someone's got a penalty ahead of me, I'm pushing as hard as I can on that battery. And even the unorthodox plate is coming up into turn 5. I'd be pushing ERS, but he's not. Maybe he's saving it all for a last lap assault, which would make sense. Maybe catching Oggio off guard, he thinks he's got it under control, and then Gilly gains a massive amount of time and then wins the race. That could be his strategy, but with a lap and a half to go, he's still got 9 tenths to make up, and Oggio is not going to stop pushing it until he sees the checkered flag, isn't he? He's got about 3 and a bit miles to go until this race is done, and Gilly is 8 tenths back. Who's going to win it? We're not sure. Gilly's dropping that gap ever so slowly, but will it be enough?
Only a lap or two to go and we will find out. Flexard is the closest car to anybody else to make a move. On this final lap, we will put our focus to this battle momentarily, just to see if they do get it on the circuit. Frantic has done a great job, and they will finish the Grand Prix, and they will go for a podium position. That being said, they do have to make sure that they make the final lap. No ERS available for that AlphaTauri, but it's going to be too little too late for the Alfa Romeo. He brakes so late, locks up the rears as he tries to slam the brakes a little bit harder to avoid contact. It was a good effort, but unfortunately for him, that is going to be how it goes. We will now watch on board with Gilly. The Hunter, will he be able to catch the hunted of Oggio? Oggio running away. With it at the moment, he's started to lose a bit of pace. Like I said though, he's probably relaxing. There's a lot of pressure on him now. So as long as he doesn't lose out too much, he will be in a good position. Gilly only has a little bit of ERS left. I don't think it's going to be so straightforward to catch up. That being said though, like I said, Oggio, he still has a massive amount of pressure on him, and he could make a mistake very easily. Right now, not looking bad at all. He's got a few more corners to go. 4 tenths. Gilly's doing an amazing job. It's going to get to 3 tenths. It's going to be closer than I thought. Just keep it calm. You are good to go, Oggio. 3 tenths now. 2 tenths. Gilly needs to find just a small bit of time. Oggio crosses the line first of all. Will he still win the Grand Prix? Here comes Gilly across the line. Oggio wins the Hungarian Grand Prix and wins for the first time in LSI. He is the man today. He's waited a long time for that one, but well done, my friend. You deserved that. That was incredible. Gilly P2. Such a close battle. Frantic returns and gets the podium position that they've been looking for. Flexar P4, brilliant points, but such a shame. And JJ, so close to get to that Alfa Romeo, but still 10 points isn't bad, and Ferrari have done a very good job today to capitalise on this race. Ballant P6 and Lalek after the disconnection will still finish the race in P7. Oggio though, well done. Round of applause.
He made it interesting, that's for sure. The gap got down to about 2 tenths towards the end of the race, but Oggio, as you said, learned his mistakes from Abu Dhabi and managed to keep hold of the car, the tyres, and just in general managing the gap, and he's won the race because of it. Well done, Oggio.
in the whole of LSI this season. That is the third Swedish driver to win a race. That is a hell of a stat, I will say. Well done to make that happen, all the Swedish drivers. Oggio wins, and that's Gilly in P2. Frantic, Flexar, JJ Ballint, Larlick, Jack Cayley, Terence Monk, Tom Brainer, Dave Raptors, and Jack Lever, unfortunately getting disqualified due to a bit of a game issue. That is how it goes, unfortunately. We'll go through the driver section. The incident section, of course, very, very easy to get penalties, but not too many people getting penalties, actually. And then the pit stops, as we will always do. Lots of pit stops from the safety cars, of course. We will be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews of the Hungarian Grand Prix. We are here today for the post-race interviews. I'm very tired. I repeat myself again and again and again. Sorry for that. Alright, we start the interviews with Tom Brainer. Tom, so good yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't translate into the race today. Can you take us through it?
I haven't found the luck today. I mean, in the quali on my last lap, I invalidated by 2 or 3 centimeters with a time which would put me on pole. And then in the race, I was just so unlucky. Everywhere were incidents around me. I've got 4 broken wings without anything I could do. So my mental health just went down the whole race. I don't know, man. Especially after the last races, it's pretty hard for me now. At the moment.
It's not great. It's not great, and I'm very sorry to see it, Tom. But I will say, Dave Raptors, I know he didn't finish the race today, but obviously he is the champion. A few seasons ago, he was in positions to win races in the past, and he never got it for about a season and a half. But obviously it does turn around, so don't give up. You will be there eventually, I'm sure, with the effort that you're putting in. So it is a shame, but bad times only make good times better. The next race, Belgium, are you looking forward to that one to try and shake off this result today?
If I can find my luck, I think it will be a very good race. It's a great track. I love the track. I think I will have good pace on it, but I need just a little bit of luck I got yesterday and not the type of luck I've got the last 4 races in this league.
Yep, I will not disagree with that one. Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you for the effort. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Well, my luck.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. And we move on to Flexard. Flexard, that was tough. Very, very tough. The strategy gave you a lot to think about, and it just didn't help you whatsoever. Can you take us through it from your perspective?
Yeah, so let's start on the quali. So I went out for my first lap and I just thought I completely put it into the trash. But it was P2 or something like that. And in the end I even got pole, which I didn't expect. Yeah, but so in the race, of course, Ogio and Dave, they had some insane pace. There was no point in fighting there. Yeah, in the end I also got a track limit penalty, as always. But I got to thank Frantic, and thanks to CRS, I managed to stay ahead of JJ in the end. So P4 overall, I think it's by far the best points I've ever had, and well, yeah, great race.
On the up then, and even though it's not the result you're looking for after a pole position, it could have been worse, and obviously, as you said, helped by DRS, so I guess you got to take it. But good to see you up there finally after a long time. Next race, Belgium. It's a longer circuit. Do you think that's going to be a good thing for you to get a good result there?
Well, I was quite happy that Hungary is quite short because I managed to do 4 quali laps, and yeah, I tend to like shorter circuits a bit more, I think. And Belgium, of course, I think it's quite hard. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, looking forward to next week, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Lexard. It's been a pleasure. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Stressing, happy, but GG's.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Yeah, cheers.
And we move on to Gilly. Gilly, very, very well done. Great shot, but unfortunately the time penalty strategy for our Grand Prix win didn't happen today. Can you take us through it and the last few laps of the race as well with your feelings, please?
Don't know. I messed up quali. Well, I didn't mess it up, I was just slow. Saved a nice new set of softs for the race. I just heard Niffo in my ear saying, save softs for the race, start on softs. So I had to do it, and then my wheel disconnected at the start because I don't know. I was changing the brake bias with the clutch on, then put it in Xbox mode or something like that, and I just had no wheel for the first lap. So that was fun. Got it back, and then there was like 50 safety cars, and then at the end, I was trying so hard to catch up to Ogio, but I couldn't do it.
Such a shame. It is such a shame. It was hard to watch, but you gave it a good shot. Still got a couple of races to go this season. Do you think you can get a win maybe at Belgium?
Gonna win all of them.
Awesome. I like it. I like that. We're going to get a triple Gilly win. Ferrari domination, please. That would be great. Thank you very much, Gilly. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
0.5 seconds.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. And thank you for the drama and the suspense at the end. Alrighty, we move on to the other Ferrari driver. Obviously, you think that there's maybe a mistake with the results, but regardless of that, can you take us through your race today? Never mind. I forgot. We're going to go to his representative, Nifajan, who's his race engineer. Sorry for that. Here we go. Nifajan, can you take us through it?
Yeah, my driver, he can't talk. He's absolutely devastated. So obviously qualifying isn't his strongest suit, but we know in the race he can always recover. Yeah, and we made some questionable strategy mistakes, which cost us in the end, cost us a P4, because I think my driver deserves more than that. I think he's obviously a podium driver, always puts the effort in, is there every week. So, I think if we had a better strategy, if we had another set of mediums left, or even a hard, I think we could have had a much better result today. And it's a shame that we only finish P5 today, but I'm sure that in further races we will have better results.
Do you think Belgium is going to be a better race to suit your driver?
Oh, my driver is good in every circuit. He doesn't really care. All he needs is certain substances. We won't discuss any further what that is. And then he will be quick. So we know maybe in the hills there's less oxygen. We know my driver can perform with very little oxygen. So he will be fast.
Fair enough. Didn't know his lung capacity was so good. Thank you very much, Nifo. One last question. How would you describe JJ's race in 3 words?
Could be better.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Thank you very much. And we move on to Ogio, the race winner of the Grand Prix for the first time ever. You are on the top step of the podium, my friend, adding to the triple this season for the Swedish drivers, getting a Grand Prix win. That was very, very intense throughout. Can you take us through it, and did you expect that today?
I definitely didn't expect a win, as the Raptors was also racing, but it really started in qualifying, because I could have gone P2, but I invalidated in the fast left-hander in the second sector, but I kept it going just to see what I can do for fun. And then started the race, make up 1 position, and then sadly on the second lap I tap the Psycho and he spins round, so that's really my bad, and I apologize so much to him. And then I was just relying on Dave to crash, which he did, and I just made some good strategy calls and I won somehow.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Did you learn a lot from Abu Dhabi? Of course, making those mistakes after getting a time penalty. You still got a time penalty today, but were you able to kind of use the buffer you brought out to then relax towards the later stages?
I never relaxed, and the time penalty really stressed me out, just like in Abu Dhabi. And especially on the last lap, as he was catching a lot on the straights, because he was saved all of his CRS to the last lap. So I was just like shitting my pants, because in the middle sector it was like 3.2 seconds gap, and the start of the lap was 3.7, so he gained a lot. But then luckily in the final sector I managed to pull out and stay ahead.
Fair enough. Moving on to Belgium, do you think you can carry the good momentum? Do you like that circuit more than Hungary and are going to look for another win?
Nah, I don't think so. Belgium's
I'm gonna
not,
take that as
not
a
my
yes,
best
then.
track as
I'm
well.
gonna take it as a yes. You're gonna look for a win. Belgium, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not my best track, especially with the hard braking zones, which I'm not the best at. So yeah, it doesn't suit me.
You're not the best at. You are the so far the best that no one can compete. I lost my words. I was gonna say something epic. It didn't come out that way. Thank you very much, Oggio.
Yeah.
Can you give us some epic
Thank you.
phrase after your first win? Can you describe your race in 3 words?
Fun and stressful.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Congratulations, you've
Thank
done
you.
it. And that has been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next weekend for the Belgian Grand Prix. That is a sprint race. It's going to be a good one. Thank you very much again, and good night.